Bones Collector, and today on Bones Collector I'm going to go through a few games that we recently acquired. And we are supposed to be at Dice Tower Con East this week. Unfortunately, we had a medical emergency with a family member, and that cascaded into a bunch of problems that were very complicated and time-consuming, so we had to sell our tickets at the last second. And we still went down to Dice Tower Con East and fulfilled our obligations for games that we traded and purchased and sold. So we were able to get that done thanks to a friend of ours that helped us, Richard Bingle. So we appreciate that from Richard. Thank you very much, Richard. These are the games that we got down at Dice Tower Con East, even though we didn't attend the convention. We're very sorry to have missed that convention because I wanted to meet a lot of people there, and we have friends there, and maybe you wanted to introduce yourself to me, and so there was just a lot of regret there that we weren't able to go, but sometimes life gets in the way. Okay, so these are the games that we picked up down at Dice Tower Con East. And I tell you guys to go to a convention and get involved in the virtual flea markets, VFMs, and the actual flea market at the convention itself. It's a great way to acquire games you're looking for at a significantly reduced retail. And that's good for you, and that's who I'm concerned with. So yeah, let me tell you about these games. I'm going to start at the front. And this first game I'm going to talk about is Arcadia. It came out in 2007, and the reason I picked this game up was I saw it played on YouTube, and it's by Rudiger Dorn, who's he's one of the top 5 board game designers, I think, in my top 10 best board game designers, which I'm going to do a video of here real quick. But Rudiger Dorn did Istanbul and Goa, among other amazing games. I wanted to play this. It's a polyomino game with little people and these little castle pieces that you're going to move around. I don't know if there's 3D look at it. So yeah, that's Arcadia. I can't wait to play that game. Again, I always tell you, if you like a game, look at the designer, look it up on Board Game Geek, find out his other games and take a look at them. Don't buy them, but take a look at them and play them at a convention or something, because you might find that you like those games also. Okay, that was Arcadia. This is by a designer called Paolo Mori, who did Vasco da Gama, which I love, Fairy Tale Inn, which I love, Rise of Augustus, which I also acquired. So there's 2 games right there that I picked up, and we've played both of these games before. We played this at a convention. I liked it a little more than Lori did, and it's a high fantasy area control game, and I wanted to get it for the first time, and so I was able to acquire a copy. I'm very happy about that. And then Rise of Augustus we used to own, sold, and bought back, which is going to be another top 10 video of games that I sold and repurchased. But yeah, so that's Rise of Augustus. I'll put that over here.
There might even be more than 10.
And, this is kind of a bingo style game, but the art in it is from Vince Dutray, and the art in this game is just worth owning the game for. But the game is very good, don't get me wrong. It's very good. It was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres in 2013, so an excellent game. I want to get that back. Alright, going across the front, this is a game by a couple of designers that I love. Matthew Dunstan and Brett Gilbert. They've done many good board games. And this is an abstract strategy board game. And there, we got the lid upside down, but I don't know if you'll be able to see what that's about. But you're going to taking these little acrylic pieces and putting them on your player board and making paths that score points in different ways. It's about like dreams or something, isn't it? Like a
memories.
Memories. It's about memories, yeah.
It's memories.
So, but these guys did Chocolate Factory, and what did they have come out this year that we liked?
Can't remember now.
We
haven't played that one yet.
We rented it.
Guilds of Merchant Explorers.
Guild of Merchant Explorers, is that it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, but this is called Vivid, and this isn't very old, and this is like a Kickstarter version thing.
It is the deluxe, yes.
Deluxe version with the dual layer player boards, which I would suggest if you get this game, because these pieces need that dual layer player board to stay in place, but whatever. Then this is a game called Furnace, and I've never heard of this designer. This is Ivan Lashin as a designer, but we played this at the last convention, Escape Winter, yeah, which is a wonderful convention here in Orlando. If you get a chance to attend, it's coming up in what, February?
February, yes.
Which we hopefully everything will go.
Yes, we want to make that one.
We can get to that one. But yeah, Furnace is by Arcade Wonders and Hobby World, and this is an auction and bidding mechanism game. We played the game and I was fascinated, totally blown away by the bidding mechanism in this game. And when that happens to you as a board gamer, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so different. I love that, and I would love to continue playing that. And that's the way I felt about this game, but the industrialized theme was kind of a turnoff for me. But the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, I got to get over that, because that bidding mechanism was worth having this game for. Not to mention, this particular package has the playmat in it, which is going to help also with the thematic value and interesting play kind of value. But yeah, Furnace, it's a tremendous game. I loved it when we played it, and I'm glad we picked up a copy.
And the bidding works at 2, which is rare.
Yes, it is very rare. And the thing is, when you're bidding in this particular game, sometimes you're bidding to lose.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
You know, wait a minute, I don't want to win that bid. You know, because that card will hurt me or something, and I don't want that to win that bid. So you're trying to finagle away, and because you got certain tokens, like 1 through 4, I think, and where you're putting those on the market row, you can win, or you want to be able to look at those cards and decide, well, I want to win that one and I want to lose that one. So you're trying to think that process through in your head, and becomes fascinating and difficult at times.
And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
That's right. And then we played this at a convention, Ingenious by Reiner Knizia, the best board game designer in the world. I mean, in the history of board gaming. I mean, I don't know if anybody can argue that. The guy is amazing. But Ingenious is a tile-laying game, very simple, plays very quickly. We played it at the convention. I loved it. And the thing is, it is a mechanic that he employed with another Chevalier, I think is the guy's name, when they did Witchstone, which is a fantastic board game also. And he uses that in the Witch's Pot when you're playing the game, and that gives you benefits the way you're laying these tiles. So it's just you're just using this particular mechanic in a big, expansive board game, Witchstone. But this is fun by itself, and we were able to, it's brand spanking new, and we got it for $10, something like that. I should tell you what I paid for some of these games. Very inexpensive. Again, like when you go, I think we paid maybe $25 for Furnace, but it has a playmat in it, so I was willing to go ahead and do that. Vivid, did we trade for that? I can't
Trade it for Vivid.
So I traded Sword and Sorcery for Vivid, another copy of Toria, which is, Toria's in my top 100 games all time, but my sister was here and she played it and loved it, so I got her a copy for $10, okay? And then he gave me $5 on top of it, so yeah, it was a good trade for everybody. Ethnos, I think we paid like
20
$20.
I think.
Yes, pristine copy, like brand new.
Arcadia was in the shrink.
Arcadia, still in the shrink from 2007. That's amazing. Okay, I'm going to talk about this game. We played this at Escape Winter Convention, and I loved it. I knew immediately this was going to have to go in my collection. Again, Reiner Knizia, the guy, I don't know how long he can keep this up, but he's just an amazing individual, and very, very cerebral, and I love this game. There's so little in this box, isn't there? Mm-hmm. There's like 4 different player colors of these acrylic tiles that are see-through, that are just beautiful. The board is absolutely gorgeous, has certain sections on the board, and you're going to place these tiles in certain ways, in certain areas to gain benefits in the way that you're building your particular color. And then it has a deck of cards, and you have a couple of different ways you can use those cards, and that's what makes this game go. And I'm telling you, it is fantastic. It's one that you have to own, everybody. And it was very difficult to find them. Yeah. We had a heck of a time. I mean, we've been looking for it since the convention, so it's been 6-7 months. I mean, and finally they got a couple of extra copies in up at Cool Stuff here in Maitland, and we bought the last one they had. I mean, I was looking for that all over the place. Bought a new copy of Azul for $10. And this is Michael Kiesling, and he's in my top 5 board game designers in the history of board gaming. And he's a wonderful designer, and Azul, of course, is, spoiler alert, it's in my top 10 games of all time. It has done a lot to bring non-gamers into board gaming, and that to me is what makes a top 10 game. This game is sought out by people who don't board game and by people who do. So
it's easy to learn.
That's how you find that great game that covers a wide expanse of gamers, and that's what Azul does. And we have also Azul
Summer Pavilion,
which we love. So those are 2 forms of Azul that we have. Okay, here's a game that's going to be on my games that I sold, repurchased, Tiny Towns. You know what happened? We had this game, and then we bought the expansion, some kind of, can't think of the name, but I hated the expansion.
Yeah.
I disliked it intensely.
We should have just got rid of the expansion.
Yeah. So I sold both of them, and I said, wait a minute, Tiny Towns is great just the way it is. And I love this game. It's by Peter McPherson, and it gives me the same feeling that I get from like Subdivision and Calico, where you have a space that's constantly shrinking, and you're trying to fit and work your game as the space gets smaller and smaller. You're trying to fit your game into the space that's left, and I love that. That's probably my favorite thing to do in board gaming, because it just puts your head in a vice and you are sweating bullets trying to figure out how to do that. And if you don't swear, you'll start when you play a game that has a shrinking space. But I love Tiny Towns. I'm so happy we got it back. Brand new copy, and $20 maybe?
Maybe, I can't remember.
Something very
None
cheap.
of these were very expensive.
Yeah, we didn't spend a lot of money on anything. I've been intrigued by Seasons, and we bought this copy for $15, and I've watched it played several times, but it has some interaction where you're maybe attacking other players, so I kind of was turned off of that. But I was turned off by the great big dice in it. It's got King of Tokyo sized dice in it.
Turned on.
And I really, really love it, that part of the game. And it's a high fantasy adventure game, and I'm going to see if I like it enough to hang on to it, but I was curious enough to pick it up for $15 and give it a go for a while and see what we think of it. So we got that. Then we also got Star Trek Frontiers. Now, I love Mage Knight. Everybody knows that if you watch my videos. This is Mage Knight with Star Trek theme. You know, it's Vlada Chvátil, and Andrew Parks helped him on this particular edition. So I, again, watched it played a few times, and I love Mage Knight, and they say it's exactly the same game, so I'm going to give this a go, see what we think of it. And we're Star Trek fans, yeah, so even have become more Star Trek fans than Star Wars anymore.
Yeah, over the years.
Over the years. What else did we get? Matthias Kramer's Lancaster. We sold it, and we just repurchased it. Brand new, pristine copy. Again, it was $15, $20, and Matthias Kramer, of course, did Glenmore, and, among other games, but that's the one that comes to mind. Kraftwagen. He did Kraftwagen, which we loved. Of course, we loved Glenmore. We did move Glenmore on, but yeah, I want to get Lancaster back. We've played it enough to know that we really, really want to keep that game for the long term. I found a copy of The Magnificent in the shrink for $20. It's a brand new game. This is designed by Eilif Svensson and Christia A. Osby, and they did, I believe, Automania, and they did Santa Maria. So very good board game designers. Again, like I tell you guys, good board game designers are the ones that can make more than one good board game. There's a lot of designers that make one good board game and then they make mediocre the rest of their career. But these guys make good ones over and over again, and I wanted to check out The Magnificent. It has that magic theme. I don't have any games that have magicians in them. We used to have Trickerion, and I love everything about Trickerion except the gameplay. It was just long, too long for us, and kind of grindy. And I hope you know what I mean by that. This is going, I've watched this play, this is a little smoother playing and can get done in an hour or so. Even though in Trickerion, again, the publishing job in that was, what was that publisher? They did Anachrony. And Mind Clash Games, so they go over the top. Back in the day,
the art in that game was amazing. Everything about that game was amazing. It just took too long.
It was Victorian art, which is my favorite era of mankind, and it was just phenomenal looking Trickerion, but I couldn't get over the grinding of it. So I picked this up. I hope this is going to be what I'm looking for. It's about magic and putting on a show. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. This is Kiwi Chow Down. It's still in the shrink, and I don't even know anything about this game.
It's a Kickstarter, so
it's from this year.
We paid $45 for that one because it's brand new.
Yeah, $45, and it comes with these little box of creatures, and we'll see. I'll do a video on it. It's an area control game, so we'll see with some cuteness to it.
Yeah, we don't know anything about it other than that. So
and the box says 14 and up, so that surprised me. I don't know what to expect from that. Okay, moving on. Eon Zen. It's another game we got rid of and we got it back. But I had a game called
Starcadia
Quest, which I was looking for a game to play with my younger grandson. He's 10, and he likes those fighting type of things. And I watched Tom Vassell do Starcadia Quest, and he gave it a seal of excellence. So I sat down and played it, and I was like, this game is terrible. I realized they're running a business over there at Dice Tower, and it probably has something to do with the designers and who gets what. But that game was not a seal of excellence. This one should deserve a seal of excellence. So Eon Zen, we've had this before. We played it, we knew it was good, but we had purchased some expansions, I think, and got over inundated
Yeah.
in our heads with that game. This is the base box, the first edition with the black border cards, and we are just going to play this because you can play this in an hour, and when you have 200 board games in your house, just the base game is fine. If the base game is great, don't put expansions in there and try and make it greater.
It got overwhelming to decide what cards to use and stuff.
And it's like Castles of Burgundy, I tell everybody. You know, that simple first package that came out is the one that everybody loved. It's the one that found all the popularity. There was no need for expansions. It's beautiful the way it is. And sometimes you can just spoil things by getting too much of it. So anyways, yeah, Eon's End, we finally got it back, and I'm happy to say we did. Okay, so now we have Dodos Riding Dinos. That's a cute name, isn't it? And you have these actual cute little dinos in here. And this is still in the shrink. It's another Kickstarter thing. I was curious to try it. I want to see what it's about. And it did have Major Juego de Mesa, which I think is Game of the Year in Spain. Something like that.
Maybe.
2019. But it has a seal of excellence on here from Dice Tower, so I got my doubts. But I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I'm curious to play it. It looks like a fun little, I think it's a racing type.
We did play $30 for that because that is a new sealed
Okay,
Kickstarter.
$30, yeah. Templar we got for $10.
Yes, $10.
$10. We played this at a convention. I don't know which one.
Escape Winner.
I'm gonna stop saying Escape Winner. And it looked interesting to me. And so we sat down, played the game, and I expected nothing from this game. And I was surprised that I liked it. I said, man, that was pretty fun. And Lori's like, yeah, that was fun.
We have to use a dummy player, Raphael.
Yeah, Raphael, which is okay.
Yeah.
If it's done well, if the dummy player's
it plays
done well,
good.
Yeah. I mean, I have other games where, you know, Fresco and Seven Wonders.
Seven Wonders, yes.
Dummy player. Work magnificently, and Templar is no exception. This designer, Jesus Torres Castro, was the co-designer on Pandemic Iberia, which is probably the best iteration of Pandemic, other than Pandemic itself. So, yeah, he knows what he's doing, and I read, has a doctorate in physics. The guy's a brilliant person, and Templar, I mean, again, you can pick this game up for nothing. They were blowing it out and from game stores for like 10 or 15 bucks anyways. You can probably find this for $5, and it's a bunch of fun to play. It's excellent board game. Oh. Hey. Then this is a game Lori was very curious about called Illiterati, and it's a word game that you play in a cooperative fashion. The publishing job is very nice. We already opened it up. We got it in a shrink, and it's got some pretty art on the cards, didn't you think?
Yeah,
I mean, the arts?
Yes, and we got the deluxe edition because the tiles are wood, otherwise they're cardboard.
Okay,
and you're drawing them out of a bag, so I really didn't want cardboard tiles.
Yeah, this is a deluxe edition, which is wood tiles. And anytime you're handling tiles out of a bag, if they're cardboard, they're just going to deteriorate. So we always go, is there a deluxe version where the tiles are either acrylic or wood or something so you don't tear them up? And we got this, and we haven't played it, but we'll let you know how it is and how much we like it.
We paid $35 for that one.
We paid $35 for that because it was brand new.
It was brand new in the shrink, yeah. And
then I got a Kramer and Kiesling game called Maharaja. And this is Cranio Productions. This was a Kickstarter, and I bought it for $20. Was it in the...
It wasn't in the shrink, but it was unpunched.
It was unpunched. Nobody played it. This thing's beautiful inside. And these are two great board game designers. I have not played this game. I've played a lot of games by Kramer and Kiesling, but I have not played this one. I've seen it played, and I think I'm really going to like it, and I'll tell you about it when I do. But wow, this box, this thing weighs... This is 5-6 pounds, and it's just a fantastic production, and there's a little bit of a problem with part of the publishing where the player wheel doesn't fit down in the player board like it's supposed to, but that's something I think I can overlook for $20, and if you can find a copy of this, you might be able to too. But I said 22 Twain Street. So there you go. That's Maharaja. I love that. I love it. I love the package so far, and I hope I love the game, and I'm pretty sure I will. That's everything except the Alhambra Big Box Special Edition. We have Alhambra, a game which I love and is in my top 100 games of all time. I think it's way up there, like top 30, something like that. I love that game because it's simple. It's simple, and the decisions are interesting. It doesn't take a lot of brain power and furrowed brows to think your way through it for hours. So I love Alhambra. And this has an updated version of Alhambra in it called Granada, which I've never played, but the tiles are two-sided, so there's a little bit more to it. I wasn't really looking for this, but I was looking to get rid of
Summoner Wars.
Summoner Wars, which I does not like. You know, if you watch my channel and you like the games that you see on my channel, you're not going to like Summoner Wars. I'm going to tell you right now. I didn't like it, and you know, I just didn't care for it. I thought it was boring, and I couldn't wait to get rid of it. But it was hard to get rid of. But the guy wanted to trade for this. Laura, we offered a trade for Summoner Wars, and he wanted to get rid of this. So, hey, I'll take this because I know I like this game, which is Granada, because it's Alhambra. This game is Alhambra, the dice game, which we used to have, and we loved that game. And then there's Alhambra Gardens, the Gardens of Alhambra, and Alhambra the card game also in here, in a beautifully published package. There's just a lot of stuff in this box. I don't really like these big boxes, and we'll see.
We'll play them all and see how we feel.
I was willing to trade for sure for
Yes.
Summoner Wars.
Because we'll never play that again. Those we might.
Yeah, I've never touched Summoner Wars. That's the games I brought back from Dice Tower Con East, even though I didn't attend. Again, I was down there, Lori and I, at the convention center and tried to get into the hall. Dice Tower wouldn't let us in, even though we explained to them what had happened to us. So we had a friend that was able to go into the hall and go ahead and gather our games, take our name in on a big piece of cardboard, and he coordinated everything for us. So thank you again, Richard, for that, because we were stressed out, to say the least, over the last couple of weeks with going on with family
still are. It's
medical
not,
problems.
still not
It's
done.
not over. Yeah, we're still working with dealing with her 91-year-old father and finding care for him, you know, different things. And
So our
yeah.
videos may not be coming out as frequently
So
as
that's
they
why
have.
we haven't seen us for a while.
We haven't played a board
videos,
game.
and we haven't played any board games, and just have really been very, very busy with that. We don't monetize any of our videos, you guys, and yes, that does make a difference. None of these games came from publishers. They're games I went out, sought, paid for ourselves, Lori and I, and we're going to play them and tell you about them. That's what we do on this channel. So if you like what you see, the games that we review, and if you say, you know what, I played that game, I really like it, we have that game in our library, you're probably going to like the way we think and the games that we review. And our opinions are not colored at all by monetary gains from publishers or Patreons. We get nothing. Nothing. We get no kind of monies from anything on this particular channel. And it's a hobby that we love, and we love sharing it with you. And that's all I'm going to say today. I love every one of you. Keep on board gaming. It's the best hobby on the planet because of games like this. And again, like and subscribe, and I'll see you the next time on The Bonus Collector. Bye-bye.